They say you've got to be good to be lucky. So do you have to be bad to be unlucky? Cause these are the unluckiest moments in NFL history. The Titans were getting their lunch handed to them by the Saints. Already down in the first quarter and facing third down, the Saints sent a relentless blitz at Marcus Mariota. The dude didn't even have enough time to think, so he just lobbed a flimsy little floater right into double coverage. Both the Saints defenders attacked the balls like hyenas before crashing into each other, sending the ball into the air. Then Delaney Walker, the Titans tight end, said, "I'll take that," and trotted all the way to the house for an easy touchdown. I don't know if the Saints could have done much more as a defense. That's just bad luck. And the Chiefs had a similar amount of bad luck against Mariota. See, Mariota wasn't a particularly good quarterback at the NFL level. And on 3rd and goal, the Chiefs had him locked up. He rolled out to his left and attempted a pass into the end zone, which the Chiefs defender batted down with authority. Great play, right? Well, maybe not. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, the batter ball bounced right back into Mariota's hand, leaving him an open path to run it in for a touchdown. But the Chiefs weren't the only team to fall victim to an unlucky tip. Kyle Orton and the Broncos couldn't generate any offense against the Bengals all game long. It was late in the fourth quarter and they were pegged back near their own end zone. Orton attempted a pass to a receiver and the Bengals were all over him. I mean, even if he caught it, he was about to get mashed into rubble. And Leon Hall, the Bengals defenders, made a great play to extend his arm and deflect the pass. But he deflected it right to Brandon Stokely. He had nothing but field ahead and he ran it all the way for a game-winning score. The Bengals were the better team that day, but in football, sometimes that's just not enough. But was that play as unlikely as this next one against the Texans? It was the last play of regulation, and the Jaguars had the ball at about midfield. Their quarterback, David Garrard, launched the ball in the air looking for Mike Sim Walker. But the Texans' defense was all over it. Their DB knocked the ball down to push the game into overtime. Wait, actually, he knocked the ball down right into Jags' other receiver, Mike Thomas's hands for a game-winning touchdown. Now that play was unlucky. And if you don't want bad luck, you better like this video and subscribe to DropKick, cause I'll bring you good luck and entertaining videos. Otherwise, you might end up like Deshaun Jackson, cause he was fast as hell. I mean, the dude had some incredible talent. But one time he caught a perfect pass from Donovan McNabb and was running it in for a touchdown. But he dropped the ball right before he crossed the goal line. What a total doofus. He knew the rules and had a touchdown in his hands. Is that bad luck? Sure, if you're an Eagles fan. Speaking of unlucky fumbles, the Chicago Bears were dealing with the daunting task of stopping legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And one of their players made a hell of a play by grabbing his arm mid-throw and forcing it incomplete. Actually, even better, a fumble. What a play! Rodgers barely ever turns the ball over. Well, it would have been a great play if the Bears realized that they forced a fumble. Instead, Jarrett Boykin, a Packers receiver, picked up the ball and ran it in for the touchdown while the Bears were still celebrating. Might as well have just given up a damn touchdown pass. And the Jets thought they could turn their fortunes around by trading for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, the Jets sucked for a really long time, but their defense was built for success. And it seemed like all the stars were lining up when Aaron Rodgers came out of a dark cave and decided he wanted to play for them. So the Jets went all in and traded for the former MVP. Vibes were bright in New York with a true leader at the helm, but early in the first quarter of his first game, he was tackled and tore his Achilles. Just like that, his season was finished and the Jets were stuck watching another year of crappy football. The Jets sure have had to deal with bad luck. Remember when Mark Sanchez was their quarterback? Mark Sanchez was about as bad as hot garbage. The Jets sure messed up when they picked him with an early first-round pick. But even he wasn't this bad, or I guess he was. Against the Patriots, Mark Sanchez ran right into his offensive lineman's big fat butt. And it smelled so bad that he dropped the ball and the Pats took it back for a touchdown. Wait, maybe that smell is just the stink of Mark Sanchez's pathetic NFL career. However, in this next moment, the Jets were on the other side of luck, while the Seahawks were left suffering from the pain of misfortune. In 2015, the Seahawks were elite and the Jets, well, they were the Jets. And the Seahawks sacked Ryan Fitzpatrick like the sack of crap that he was. Well, maybe Fitzy wasn't a total sack of crap, but that's besides the point. The play looked like it was over, but it wasn't. Jerome Peake picked up the loose ball and ran it all the way back for a touchdown, leaving the Seahawks' dominant defense wondering what the heck just happened to them. But the bad luck wasn't over for the Seahawks. In fact, they suffered from maybe the unluckiest play in NFL history. We're talking about what happened against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. The Seahawks just needed one more yard to win the game. They could have easily run it in, but they decided to pass it instead of handing it to Marshawn Lynch. And we all know what happened next. Malcolm Butler picked the ball off, raining diarrhea all over the Seahawks' dreams. One could say that it wasn't bad luck, just a bad play call, but come on. You're telling me that an undrafted rookie like Malcolm Butler could make that play again if you gave him 100 chances? Doubt it. But believe it or not, the Seahawks weren't the only team that fell 1 yard short of the Super Bowl. It might sound crazy, but the Titans were stopped 1 yard short of glory as well in 2000. The Titans' run to the Super Bowl was heroic, thrilling, and lucky. But luck eventually ran out. On the very last play of the game, Steve McNair threw the ball to Kevin Dyson, who was making a beeline for the end zone. And it looked like he was about to cross the line, but Mike Jones dragged him down 1 yard short, and the Rams won the Super Bowl instead. That's gotta hurt like hell. And do you know that Tony Romo served as the placeholder and the starting quarterback at the same time for the Dallas Cowboys? I guess the Cowboys coaching staff thought that placeholding for the field goal kicker would just be an extra drop in the bucket for the workload of a starting quarterback. But as it turned out, it was actually the straw that broke the camel's back. See, Romo had served as a backup quarterback in Dallas and had plenty of time to focus on his placeholding duties. But after getting promoted to the starting gig, the team still kept him responsible as the holder. He drove the team all the way down the field against the Seahawks in a playoff game and just needed to pin the ball for his kicker to give the team the lead with only a minute left. But maybe he wasn't taking his regular practice reps, because he was butterfingers on the snap and bobbled the ball. Then in a panic, he immediately took off for the end zone but was tackled just short and the Cowboys lost the game. Now how's that for bad luck? But that wasn't even the worst luck of Romo's career. It seems like every year Cowboys fans across the country think this is our year. But the truth is that 2014 was probably the Cowboys' best team in recent memory. And they might have won the Super Bowl if it weren't for some horrible luck. They were down by 5 points against the Packers late in the fourth quarter. And on 4th and 2, the Cowboys took a shot at glory. Tony Romo found his top wideout, Dez Bryant, in single coverage and made the throw of a lifetime. He put it in the perfect spot and Dez went up and got it. On his way down, he reached out for the goal line in hopes for a touchdown. But during the reach, he made contact with the ground. Thanks to some stupid technical rules about what is and isn't a catch, the Cowboys actually had the touchdown taken away and the play was ruled an incomplete. Damn, imagine all your hopes and dreams getting crushed by a stupid technicality. The rule was so stupid that the league changed it after the season ended, but not before the Cowboys fell victim to some dreadful luck. The Cowboys were the last team that had to suffer after the league changed the rules. But the Raiders were the first team that had to suffer from a different rule change that the league made. During the 2001 playoffs, the Patriots were looking to make their mark. No one cared about Tom Brady at the time. He was just the rookie backup filling in for Drew Bledsoe. And with his team down against the Raiders in a snowy, slippery game, he screwed up. Brady got sack fumbled and it looked like the game was just about out of reach. Kudos to those Raiders. Well, not so fast. The refs came in to save the day. They announced a brand new rule that overrode Brady's fumble because he tucked the football. And here I was thinking the only beneficial tuck was when I tucked my stiffy into a waistband to avoid getting caught. But I guess I was wrong, because the tuck rule ended up being the reason the Raiders lost and the Pats won and ended up building football's greatest dynasty. To think that the Patriots started their epic run because of some luck, but luck actually hasn't always been on their side. In fact, they were the victims of one of the unluckiest plays the league has ever seen. In 2008, the Patriots might have had the best football team in NFL history. They had a perfect regular season and were rolling into the Super Bowl. I mean, these guys weren't just good. Tom Brady was practically throwing touchdown passes to Randy Moss at will. And the Pats' defense was practically a brick wall. But even brick walls can crack, especially if luck isn't on its side. And that's what happened in the Super Bowl. The Pats basically had the win wrapped up. They had multiple defenders get their hands on Eli Manning way behind the line of scrimmage. And Eli Manning has the tackle-breaking ability of a wobbly Jenga tower. But somehow on this particular play, he dodged the tackles and threw a prayer straight into the middle of the field. And guess who came up with it in the middle of all the action? David Tyree. A wide receiver that barely made a catch all season long. Not only did he catch it, he caught it with the Hall of Fame safety Rodney Harrison draped all over him. Tyree didn't even have both his hands free, but still managed to wedge the ball against his helmet and come down with a catch. Then the Giants finished the drive off with a touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress. A true football miracle that proved to be a fatal blow to the Pats' immortality. But can we really feel bad for the Patriots? I sure don't, but I do feel bad for the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings never seem to have luck on their side no matter how good they are. But in the 2015 playoffs, the tide looked like it was finally turning. At home, they got in a battle against the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams went back and forth, and it looked like the Vikes were actually going to come out on top. They were down 10-9, but they were lined up for a 27-yard game-winning field goal. Not only that, but they had one of the game's best kickers in Blair Walsh. And Walsh was on fire. He was already 3 for 3 in the game. The stars all seemed aligned. Until Walsh somehow managed to hook the field goal wide left by a mile. That's just some awful luck. But Walsh's miss wasn't even as heartbreaking as Cody Parkey's. Believe it or not, the Bears were in the playoffs in January 2019, on the back of a young, promising QB named Mitch Trubisky. Wow, time flies. Either way, they weren't just in the playoffs, they had a chance to beat the Eagles in a playoff game. All they needed was a game-winning 43-yard field goal from Cody Parkey. And he seemed like he had it lined up. On his first attempt, he nailed it. But the Eagles called a timeout right before the kick, forcing Parkey to do it all over again. And the second attempt wasn't quite as lucky. Parkey sent it flying. First it doinked off the right upright, then it dropped and doinked off the crossbar before dropping just short. And just like that, the dreaded double doink ended their dreams. And up next is one of the most unlucky plays that never even happened. This next one is a bit of a weird one because some bad luck forced the Colts to call an audible. In a game in Pittsburgh, the Colts had a trick play ready to roll for Pat McAfee. McAfee was the punter and placeholder, and apparently the Colts had a trick play ready for him to run in for a touchdown. It was supposed to be a special moment for McAfee, who never got the chance to score touchdowns, and was also playing in front of friends and family because he was from Pittsburgh. But for reasons only God and maybe Troy Polamalu knew, Polamalu lined up in the C gap, which would effectively take the opportunity away from McAfee. The holder was stunned since the Steelers had never lined Polamalu up this way, and he unfortunately was forced to call an audible, effectively pooping on his dreams of scoring a touchdown in his hometown. Speaking of shattered dreams, John Carney turned one of the luckiest moments of all time into the unluckiest in a matter of seconds. In 2003, the Saints were battling for their playoff lives against the Jaguars. If they lost it, it was sayonara to their playoff hopes and dreams. And down 7, somehow they put together the most ridiculous play in NFL history. They just kept tossing around the pigskin like a greased-up hot potato in a backyard-style Bamabalooza play. And after about 7 laterals and 75 yards, they made it into the end zone with no time left on the clock. All that was left was the extra kick by John Carney to take the sucker into overtime. And you guessed it, Carney sent the extra point about a mile wide as if an inner ear infection was screwing with his depth perception. Oh my god, what an ending! Can you imagine Carney still got a paycheck after that performance? But even the Saints River City Relay doesn't take the cake for unluckiest play in NFL history, cause that title goes to the Miracle at the Meadowlands. The unluckiest play in NFL history actually happened in 1978. The Eagles were down by 5 points to the Giants, and the Giants had the ball with less than 30 seconds left. All they had to do was kneel, and the game was done. But for whatever empty-skulled, boneheaded reason, the Giants decided to run the ball to their running back instead. I mean, it was a stupid idea, but it took some horrid luck for it to go as wrong as it did. The QB bobbled the transfer and fumbled the football, only for an Eagles player to swoop in and score a game-winning touchdown. The offensive coordinator got fired immediately after the game. And rumor has it that he also got his balls chopped off by the team owner. But that part probably isn't true. Either way, those were the unluckiest moments in NFL history. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to let us know by hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to my channel. And if you want to watch more great NFL videos like this, click on one of the video links on your screen, cause I've got you covered.